Namaskar to everybody. Thank you, Swati, for your beautiful prayer. We are in one of the greatest chapters of Bhagavad Gita. In yesterday's class, he told an interesting thing. You can do yajna and go to heaven, there is no doubt in it. Krishna doesn't say you don't go there. But they are not lasting. When your punya is over, you will be back on earth. Is there a way out for us or there is no way? That Krishna has not told it. Even if we do great yajnas, say for example, the highest happens to be Ashwamedha, we do Ashwamedha and get to heaven. But if we come back to earth, when is the liberation? Is there a way for getting liberated? Krishna knows all these things when he says such things. And in the next shloka, he gives us a wonderful promise once again. And the greatest in Bhagavad Gita, a promise given to every reader of Bhagavad Gita. We have to go to shloka number 22. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana parupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyam. Wonderful shloka from Bhagavad Gita. If you think of me every time, if you do all the duties that you do for my sake, I will look after those bhaktas. I will look after their yoga and kshema. Earning and saving, both I will look after. Yoga is to earn, kshema is to save it. So I will look after the man. When we were doing the prayer, I had told you one thing. Kaivartaka Kesavaha that you had in our first prayer. I told you, give the responsibility to Krishna. Do your duty. If he can take, if you allow him to take a ride, and you can simply enjoy the life. That's what we said when we said Kaivartaka Kesavaha, man who runs the boat. And here he promises us, Ananyas Chintayanto Maham, continuously thinking of me. Ye jana pariupasate, those who make a living, tesham nityabhyuktanam, such nityabhyukta, he says, such ever remembering persons, I will look after their yoga and kshema. Usually, I tell a story to explain this. Schools were not like this in those times. There used to be the houses of gurus where students would go and learn whatever they wanted to learn from the teacher whom they went to. And it was stay in the guru's house for so many years till they completed their education. This guru completed the day's lesson and he wanted to take a bath in the river because it was the river was nearby his house. Told his wife, I'm going to have a bath in the river and do my japa and come home. Be ready with the lunch. But she made a sad face. Asked why was she sad? She said there is nothing in the house. Neither there is rice and grains, nor there are vegetables. The teacher was worried. Not that he would have to do a fasting. The children that are there who are depending on him will have to go on fast. He was a reader of Bhagavad Gita. He took out Bhagavad Gita, opened the page. Then immediately he got this shloka. 22nd shloka of 9th chapter when he opened the page. He got angry. God promised that he will take care of us if we remember him. He made a wrong promise. And then he took out his pen and put a into mark over the shloka. Anyway, it was time for him to go and take bath and do the worship. Went to the river. And after finishing his meditation, japa and other things, came back home. For his pleasant surprise, beautiful smell of different dishes coming out from the house. Surprised he was, and looked at the jubilant face of his wife. How is that? You said there is nothing and you have made such wonderful preparation. They smell so nice. Then he said, as you left for the river for your bath and meditation, an old man came with a bag on his back and gave it to me and went away. This teacher asked, didn't you ask his name? His wife said, yes, I did ask. But he could not speak, she said. Why? He asked again. There was an into mark on his tongue. So this is the tongue of Krishna. It is his promise you can test and try. A life is you can also be testing Bhagavad Gita whether it is true or not, following Bhagavad Gita also. It works. One day when I was in Shimoga, my brother-in-law had some heart problem. I was going to his house to read Bhagavad Gita in his house. It was not very far. I started from my house. On the way, I saw, I don't know whether he was mad or drunk, a man was throwing the stones in every direction. Suddenly I remembered this shloka, Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nitya viyuktanam yogakshemam mohamyam. I just began reciting this inside of me, not loudly, of course. Then I observed a wonderful change that happened in him. He threw out the stone that was there in his hand, came near me, but I was not afraid of because I was praying Krishna. Then he said, Udupi Krishna and stood till I passed. If he had simply told Krishna, I wouldn't believe that Krishna he could see. But he said Udupi Krishna because Shimoga and Udupi are very near places. Udupi is one of the highest places where they worship Krishna. And many of our members had the privilege of reading entire Bhagavad Gita in Udupi, including Shilpa who is there, and maybe one or two in the group may also be there. So he said Krishna. I give this example because you can try it also. This is only one example I have been giving you. Many times I tried. Every time it gave result. Yogakshemam mohamyam. If you remember me, he had told us earlier. And in the 30th shloka of 6th chapter, Yo mam pashyati sarvatra sarvancha mai pashyati tasyaham na pranashyami sachame na pranashyati. 30th shloka of 6th chapter, probably you remember. If you remember me, I will also remember you. And he makes a better promise here. I will look after you if you can remember me, if you can do all the work for my sake. This Yogakshemam Mohamyam is a title used by our LIC of India. There was a case in the Supreme, we went to Supreme Court. India is a secular country. How is that the words from Bhagavad Gita are used in LIC? It should be changed. And the courts gave a judgment. It has nothing to do with secular, non-secular. You are using the phrase in Bhagavad Gita to say, if you save money, I will look after you. The case was dismissed. Same thing happened in Russia also once. The case was that Bhagavad Gita teaches violence. Case was fought. And ultimately, they won the case, probably ISKCON people. Bhagavad Gita asks Arjuna to fight only when he is faced with adharma. This is one of the finest shlokas you can by heart recite every time. In fact, make a japa of this shloka. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. Continuously thinking about me, those people who worship me. Such worshipping people, such continuously worshipping people, I look after their yoga kshema, earning and maintenance of everything. If we can practice this, we will be very much relaxed. Bhagavad Gita ultimately should give us a wonderful relaxation of life. It is not for an ordinary man, it is told to a king. He has to fight and destroy many thousands and lakhs. But still, he must not have tension of life. And it extends to every one of us. You want a peaceful mind? Krishna says this is the method that you have to follow. You can also try it for some time, and if you find it good, you can go along. If you don't find it good, you can leave it also. I think we can recite this shloka, underline it. Ananyas chintayanto mam.
Ananyas chintayanto mam.
Ye janah paryupasate.
Ye janah paryupasate.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Yogakshemam vahamyam.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
Ananyas chintayanto mam.
Ananyas chintayanto mam.
Ye janah paryupasate.
Ye janah paryupasate.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Tesham nityabhiyuktanam.
Yogakshemam vahamyam.
Yogakshemam vahamyaham.
What if we worship some other gods? A great country. We have different gods in different places. We say there are lakhs of gods in India with different forms at different places, including bhutas, pretas, and so on. What about that? Does Krishna say anything about our worshipping Shiva, Durgi, and Ishvara, and so on? Remember, he has already told Shiva is me only. Rama is me only in the previous chapter. So every god is one, that is what he has said to us. And also in 10th chapter, he told all gods came from me. I am the first cause of everything. I existed in the beginning, and then I created this world. I am the creator and the created both. That he had told us. Epyanya devata bhaktaha. He is speaking about the bhaktas of other gods. Anya devata bhaktaha. We have different gods as our family gods. We say Vokkulu in Kannada, dependent on certain gods. Some are Narsimha Deva followers, some are Tirupati Venkatramana followers, some are Rishishringa followers of Kiga. Many gods are there. We are the followers of so on and so forth, we say. What about them? Anya Devata Bhaktaha Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha. The people who worship other gods, if they worship with Shraddha, look here the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. If they worship with Shraddha, Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha, with all Shraddha they worship, Tepi Mameva Kaunteya Yajanti. They are also worshipping me only, but Avidhi Purvakam. Poor men do not know the truth of it. Avidhi Purvakam. Vidhi Purvakam means proper way. Avidhi Purvakam means not proper way. They also worship me. They do not know that I am the highest. So they worship in different forms. But still they are worshipping me, Krishna said. Tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti. Second line. Tepi mameva kaunteya. They also worship me, but avidhi purvakam, not in the proper manner. They have got ignorance. They think the God is only this one, not the other one. It is still then they have been worshipping me. That is another thing he says. Anya devata bhaktaha, those people who worship other gods. Yajante shraddhayanvita, if they do it with full shraddha. If we do not have shraddha, we need not go to worship at all. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam, he told us in the very 4th chapter. If you want knowledge, you need to have shraddha. Anya devata bhaktaha, people who believe in other gods, who are the devotees of other gods, if they worship with Shraddha, Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha, Tepi Mameva Kaunteya Yajante. They also worship me, but Avidhi Purvakam, not in the proper. They are not well informed. They don't know the highest principle of our culture. So they worship with some other form. That is what he says. Another interesting shloka. We have in 7th shloka, in 7th chapter, I told you, I asked you to underline an important shloka. Yo yamyam tanum bhaktah shraddhayarchitumichyati tasya achalam shraddham tamam, he had told. If you want to worship in the form of Shiva, there is nothing wrong. Krishna is in the form of Shiva. I will give you shraddha there. If you want to worship as Rama, yes, I will give you shraddha in that. I told you there one interesting thing. Don't worship one god per day or for all 7 days, 7 gods, because you will never have the shraddha in a particular god. That is what I told you that Jyotishis will do. Today is Monday, so worship Shiva. Tomorrow is Tuesday, worship Devi. And there is no such thing as your concept. Your picture of the God is not there for you at all. So he says, Anya devata bhakta yajante shraddhayanvitaha tepi mameva kaunteya yajanti avidhi purvakam. But they do not know that they are worshipping me in different form. Is another thing told by Krishna. I think we can recite. Yepyanya devata bhaktaha
येऽप्यन्य देवता भक्तः
yajante shraddhayanvitaha
यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः
tepi mameva kaunteya
तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय
yajantyavidi purvakam.
यजन्त्यविधिपूर्वकम्
Epyanya devata bhaktaha
येऽप्यन्य देवता भक्ताः
yajante shraddhayanvitaha
यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विताः
tepi mameva kaunteya
तेऽपि मामेव कौन्तेय
yajantyavidi purvakam.
yajantya vidhipurvakam.
Hope I have made the meaning of Shloka number 23 clear. They also worship me, but they do not know the proper way. They do not know the nature of God at all. So they think they worship in a different form. And he says, why he only gives phala, whatever form he works. Aham hi sarva yajnana bhokta prabhurevacha. There is an interesting thing. Whatever yajna you do, I am the ultimate who receive that. Among Vaishnavas, there is a way of doing things. Even you do Homa for Durgi, ultimately you say Krishna Arpanamastu. Do something for Shiva, worship Shiva or Ganesha or whatever God you are offering, you are doing yajna or worshipping. Ultimately, you will say Krishna Arpana. I remember a funny incident that happened to me when I was in my village. My mother was not there. They do Mashika every month. On that day, they will remember the God. And the Purohit will be brought. And we will all sit for a meal and they will say certain mantra and offer food to Purohita and to others on that day after some small rituals. That day was a Shivratri. And I was also there. I went and sat for my food in front of the banana leaf. Banana meal food is very common in Malnad. That is what they do, they use. It was very special in Seattle that there was a big announcement. You will have the meal, banana leaf meals if you come on the occasion. So I went and sat, and before sitting, I said, Krishna. The Purohit who was saying mantra listened that I was saying Krishna. Then he said, Yen Shivaswamigale, today is Shivratri, you say Krishna. I silently said nothing. I was quite silent. And after doing certain ritualistic mantras, he asked the Yajmana, say Krishna Arpana and offer the food to the people. Then I asked him, why did you say Krishna Arpana today? Isn't it Shivratri? Then he realized the mistake that he did. All gods are same. It's a great country. Some place Shivratri is good, some place Goklashtami is good, some place some other Navratri is great, and so on and so forth. We have different gods. But Krishna says, Aham hi sarva yajnana bhoktacha prabhurevacha. Sarvadeva namaskaraha keshavam pratigacchati. There is a statement, an interesting statement. Whatever God you worship, ultimately which reaches the highest cosmic consciousness, Keshava. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhoktacha prabhurevacha. I am the receiver and the master of every yajna, he says. Whatever yajna you do a puja for Durga, it comes to Krishna. You do a puja for Ganesha, comes to Krishna. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta. Bhokta means eater, receiver. Bhokta cha prabhurevacha, and also the master. It is actually so in the mantras. When we are doing Durga Saptashati, we say that you are the creator, you are the sustainer, you are the maintainer, you are everything. When we say simply the Ganapati Atharva Shirsha, we say Tam Bhumi Rapo Nalo Nilo Nabaha, Tam Chattari Vakpadani. Everything is you is in every mantra. But we still think they are different and sitting at different places and worship different gods. That is accepted by Krishna, but the only thing is that they do not know the truth. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhoktacha prabhurevacha. I am the receiver and the master of every yajna done. Yajna means offering done. Natumam abhijananti. But people do not know me, so they fall from knowing the truth. Tattvena tasyavantite. Therefore, they will fall. Therefore, they will have a misunderstanding, and misunderstanding that Krishna is different, Shiva is different. We must fight for the cause of Krishna, or we must fight for the cause of Shiva, and so on. This is still, there is still an underlying war in the country, you can know. Worshippers of Shiva think that we are great. Worshipper of Durga think we are greater, and so on and so forth. That is what he says. Natumamabi, they do not know me, they fall from the truth. Tattvena tasyavantite, they will fall from the truth. They will not know the truth. Aham hi sarva jnana bhokta cha prabhuravich, underline that. I am the receiver and the master of every yajna that a man does. And ultimately, what is yajna? Krishna has told us all the good work that you do is yajna. Dravya yajna, tapo yajna, yoga yajna, tata pare, swadhyaya jnana yajnasya yataya samshita vrataha. That is what he told in 4th chapter, I think. Everything is a yajna. All that work you do is an yajna. Arjuna doing the war is nothing but yajna. For dharma, he has been doing that yajna. If we leave Krishna, Arjuna from Bhagavad Gita and try to understand Bhagavad Gita, we will totally mislead the meaning of Bhagavad Gita. We are made to think all of us must take sannyasa and go to the forest. Not at all. Krishna's intention is not to send us to forest. Krishna's intention is to make us live a good life, a peaceful life, responsible life, doing all duties, still be absolutely relaxed. That is the intention of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita with Arjuna and with all of us. So he is telling us so many things. Aham hi sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhaveta. I am the master and the receiver of every yajna that is done. Maybe dravya yajna, maybe tapo yajna, maybe swadhyaya yajna. What is swadhyaya yajna? Reading Bhagavad Gita every day is swadhyaya, I told you. Whatever literature that you have to read as a follower of the literature is nothing but yajna. And also in the same chapter, he told even breathing is nothing short of yajna. Prana, apana, taking prana and apana. Niyatahara is a yajna. Taking limited food is an yajna. That is all that you have passed through in the earlier chapters. So I think we can recite. Aham hi sarva yajnanam. Swati, you are mute.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam
Bhokta cha prabhureva cha
bhokta cha prabhureva cha
natumam abhijananti
natu mam abhijananti
tattvena tasyavantite
tatvena
chavantite.
shacyavantite.
Aham hi sarva yajnanam
Aham hi sarva yajnanam
bhokta cha prabhureva cha
bhokta cha prabhureva cha
natumam abhijananti
natu mam abhijananti
tattvena tasyavantite.
tatvena shacyavantite.
But he says, whatever you aspire for, you get. In the next shloka. Yanti devavratan devan. Those who worship devas will go to devas. Those who worship Indra, say for example, go to heaven. Yanti devavratan devan. Pitrunyanti piturvrata. If we worship our ancestors, we will reach the place where our ancestors are living now. Pitruyanti piturvrata. Bhutani yanti bhutetya. Those who worship Bhuta and Pretas, the smaller gods, they will also reach Bhuta or Preta, which they worship. But Yanti Madhya Jinopimam. Those who worship me will come to me. It is anybody's choice now. Whom do we want to worship? Yanti Devavratan Devan. Those who worship devas will reach devas. Yanti pitruni yanti pitrurataha. Our fathers and forefathers and the genealogy, wherever it started from, we worship. We only reach over the Pitruloka. That is, we reach Pitruloka. That is, they are different lokas. He told in earlier, all lokas are returnable except coming to me. Remember? So that is what he has been silently telling us. If you are worshipping Pitrus, you will go to Pitruloka. That's not permanent. Bhutani yanti bhutejya. Those who worship Bhutas will reach Bhutas only. Yanti madhyajinopimam. Those who worship me will come to me. Choice is yours. That's what Krishna says. It is easy with worshipping smaller gods sometimes. When I was in Shimoga, I was going to Kudli every day to teach a bit of English to one Swamiji, but it did not continue for a long time. But Kudli, if you want to go to Kudli from Shimoga, you have to go towards Chitradurga Road. There is a bus stop called Kudli Cross. You have to walk from there 1.5 to 2 kilometers to reach Kudli much. There are seat autos there. And seat autos will take you for a cost, 5 rupees, 10 rupees or so. They will take and they will leave Kudli. And I observed a wonderful thing there. Lot of people get down from every bus and get to autos. They were not the village people, as it is a simple village. They would come with suitcase, bags and baggages and well-dressed, not like agriculture. They would come and get into auto with me, and they will disappear before the mutt where I used to reach. We would all get down in the bus stand. None of them would come. There were 2 kshetras there, one Advaita Kshetra and Dvaita Kshetra. One Shankaracharya follower, one Madhva follower Kshetra was there. None of them, they were not coming there at all. I was really surprised. Where do these people get met? They don't appear in both the places. There is a Kudli, that is Sangama of Tunga and Bhadra. They take bath there and they feel holy. They don't even come there. And after 3 days, I found that there is a man who worshipped a Bhuta. Some Muslim, I was told. He was a predictor. He would predict you when your daughter will be married, when you will get the money back from whom you have already given, and so on and so forth. People used to come there every day from Mysore, Bangalore, and so on, but wouldn't visit the both kshetras that were there very nearby. I remember this because Bhutani yanti bhutejya. There is an interesting story told by Guru Raj Karjagi sir. It's a great storyteller. And the story is, a man was a spiritual man. He was worshipping God for many years, doing japa every day for so many, in big number and so on. But there was a barber who could well predict what would happen to the man in near future. This great Brahmin observed the barber. With all my worshipping of gods every day, I don't have the capacity to know what would happen to the man or the woman who come to me. But how does this barber speak like that? He went to the barber and asked, how is that? The barber said, I worship a Buddha, and that will tell me what I should tell them. And I tell whatever it tells me in my ear, I tell them back, and they will go back with satisfaction. This man thought, the spiritual man thought, why don't I take initiation from you and do that japa every day? Then the barber himself said, "No, sir, you have such an aura of light around you, you don't need it." But this man thought, I am limited to my own knowledge. I don't see anything about the future of anybody. I want this knowledge, he said. Ultimately, the barber initiated the mantra to him and asked him to practice for 6 months. This spiritual man practiced that mantra for 6 months. There was no change at all in him and nothing revealed to him. Came back to the barber. Yes, I did as you said for 6 months. Nothing happened to me. And the barber again went to his meditation of his to see his spirit in meditation, and he said, "Yes, I could not reach him at all. The aura around him was such big that I could never reach him," he said. That was an evil spirit that he was worshipping. How can the evil spirit come near the greater spirit? So this story tells us those who worship bhutas will go to bhutas. Those who worship gods, whichever god worship, you may ultimately get in to that. Those who worship pitrus will go to pitrus. Yanti madhyajinopi mam. Those who worship me will come to me. Krishna gives the chance, gives the freedom for anybody to whatever he wants to. I think we can recite this shloka. Yanti deva vrata devan.
Yanti deva vrata devan.
Pitrun yanti pitruvrataha.
Pitrun yanti pitruvrataha.
Bhutani yanti bhutejyaha.
Bhutani yanti bhutejya.
Yanti madhyajinopi mam.
Yanti madhyajinopi mam.
Yanti deva vrata devan.
Yanti deva vrata devan.
Pitrun yanti pitruvrataha.
Pitrun yanti pitruvrataha.
Bhutani yanti bhutejya.
Bhutani yanti bhutejya.
Yanti madhyajinopi mam.
Yanti madhyajinopi mam.
Underline that at least. Yanti madhyajinopi mam. Those who worship me will come to me. Those who worship me will come to me. And another greatest. That's why this is Rajavidya Rajaguhya. What is the worship that we should do to please Krishna? Is it that we must do some yajna, homa, havana, sit for 24 into 7, worshipping him? What is that we need to do? One of the greatest shloka in Bhagavad Gita is this. Patram pushpam palam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakti upartam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Underline this. Patra means we we worship God with leaves. Tulsi, Durva, and all flowering flower plants. We take the tender leaves of the flowers and worship God. That is patra. Pushpa, some flowers. Some flower. Patram, pushpam, palam. Palam, any fruit that for that matter. If you don't have anything, you keep 2 grapes. Dry grapes. Palam. Toyam, water. Hope you understand all the 4. Patra, pushpa, pala, toyam. Yo me bhaktya prayachati. Whoever gives me with devotion, what? Patram, pushpam, palam, toyam. Sit, offer, all respect. Krishna, say Krishna Arpana. Wait for some time. What does Krishna say? Tadaham bhakti upahartam ashnami prayatatmanaha. I take it and eat it from the man who devotedly give it to me. Prayatatmanaha is the pure mind. Man having pure mind and pure heart, I will actually take that one. Where did it happen? Is there any event that where it happened? There is one in Ramayana. Shabari was a villager, not from a high caste, the low caste. But she was a great devotee of Rama. She had heard Rama's name. And only desire that he had is to see Rama in her life at least once. And she had a belief that Rama might come to her house any day. So every day she would get up early. That was only a small shed, small hut, not even with roofing and proper roofing. Small, the poorest man's house, a hut. And she would clean everything in the house because today Rama may come to my house. And she would bring flowers and spread the flowers. If Rama comes, let him come on the flowers. She would spread the flower in the yard. Not only that, she would pick some fruits and wait for Rama to come till night. But she wouldn't leave the hope. Tomorrow again the same thing would begin. Clean the house, bring the food, spread the flowers, wait for Rama. Went on for years. Some rishis, when Rama was in the forest with Sita, some rishis told him, there is a great devotee of yours, you must go and visit her. And asking that, Rama and Lakshmana came to Shabari's house one day. Imagine the joy of Shabari on that day. She had done all that thing that she would do. She had spread flowers, cleaned the house, brought the fruit, kept it in a small, probably some on some leaves. Maybe she did not have a good vessel to keep it in. And waiting for Rama, Rama came. Was there anything to ask then? Nothing. That was only joy to see Rama coming. Rama and Lakshmana came. Did she have a wonderful chair to sit on in her house? No. Whatever the broken things she has spread, Rama and Lakshmana sat. And when they sat, she offered the flowers to Rama and fell at his feet. Full. Rama was about to take it. Lakshmana observed. They were all like Apple company's apple. Eaten bit. Every fruit had a teeth mark of this Shabari. Lakshmana said, brother, don't eat it. Because all are eaten fruit. That's not good for you. And then Rama took it and ate it. It was not that her intention was to give the Angela, that is what we call in Kannada, I don't know the other languages, what you say. But it was her intention was, she must not give something that doesn't suit, that isn't sweet to her devotee, her Lord Rama. So she would eat everything and keep it to him. And then he came and ate. That is what this says. Bhakti upartam mashnami pretatmana. If it is given in great devotion, I will take it and eat it. There is also another story which I will tell you tomorrow associated with that because it is time. Swati.